So Kelly, the word gets around, albums out. You're starting to tour, taking the band and the songs out to bigger venues.
Yeah.
The pace of life, presumably now, is beginning to really quicken.
Yeah.
So then the adjustment into all of this, from where you were to where you're clearly now going, you know, how are you sort of getting your brain around all this at the time?
It was a bit weird. It was a quite quick transition. I moved out of my mum and dad's house because the first album I was still living with my mum and dad's, and then you buy a first house, and then you travel around the world with your friends. You know, going to New York for the first time, in LA for the first time, in Europe and Japan, and you know, we were still only 24, and we employed all our mates as our crew, and it was a tragedy, really. I mean, the gig got in the way of the bender, to be honest with you. But we had a good time.
Good fun, though, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
It was a great time. I was writing songs in my bunk, and they were downstairs playing FIFA, and it was. I think that's when my writing style changed. I just realised if I started to try and play guitar. I mean, the first album is all. It's all. You know, I never really went past the third fret. You know, it was all chords, and I thought when I come to the second record, if I started playing guitar in a slightly different way, and also lyrically, you know, I was seeing more things and experiencing more things and being tempted by more things and all sorts of things in life which I'd never really had where I'd been living before. So I think it was the first time I stepped outside of 100% observational writing and putting a lot more of me into the songs, asking questions for the first time, like Hurry Up and Wait and Just Looking and Pick Apart This New, all those songs. They're all kind of asking where am I supposed to be, and you know, that kind of mid-20s life crisis situation where you don't really know what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you are, and I think that comes through subconsciously a lot in that album.
And suddenly now the circumstances of writing has changed completely, and you know, obviously in two ways. First of all, widening of experience, but also the space and time that you've got to chisel for yourself to make songwriting happen. Because, you know, with all the work on the road and everything else, Kelly, I mean, I don't know how you are with writing on the road. Can you write on the road?
Yeah, I do most of my writing on the road. What tends to happen is you have 12 years of rehearsals, and then you get your first album, and then you never rehearse ever again.
Yes.
You know, your rehearsal's going to come on stage, and sound checks, and so if I didn't take on the role of becoming the kind of lead songwriter as opposed to us jamming songs in a room, then the songs wouldn't really have a chance to happen, really.
So then capturing the ideas as they're arriving, Kelly, I mean, you know, when you first started writing, presumably if you wanted to record anything just quickly as a demo, you put it onto a cassette or... But of course the technology of capturing material now has changed.
It's weird you say that. If you got my bag in the dressing room, there's a cassette player in there because I still stick it on the cassette.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are opportunities now, aren't there, for loads of like mini studios?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can use the GarageBand thing and digital recorders and stuff, but when the batteries run out, you freak out. Everything's gone. But when you've got a cassette, I mean, you just got to keep it away from your kids because they tape over it all the time. But, I was really good at recording ideas, and you know. Performance and Cocktails especially, which became, you know, a really, really big record. I mean, Word Gets Around didn't go platinum till Performance and Cocktails went platinum, so the band wasn't really that big, it was on a curve. And then I realised 3 days before going into Box in Bath, Peter Gabriel's studio, to record Performance and Cocktails, that I didn't really think I had many songs. And but then I realised I had listened to 3 whole cassettes worth of ideas, and I'm good at recording them, but I never used to listen back to them. And the day before I listened back, I played it, and I found Bartender and the Thief, and then I found Just Looking, and then I found Stop to Fill My Car Up, and I thought, oh, I've got quite a few songs, actually. And then we went in the studio, and they all came out pretty good.
So the second album then, Kelly, Performance and Cocktails, what are you going to play for us from that?
Well, Just Looking was a song I wrote in a hotel room in Amsterdam, and I didn't want to go to sleep, so I just started writing songs, and Just Looking literally started, it was called The List, because it just says the things I want, the things I think I want, the things I've had, the things I want, and then I just had a song called Goldfish Bowl, which was that, and I started nicking off myself already by the second album. This will come into the whole thing later on, but I've nicked many songs off myself. And Just Looking just became that slowed down, really, so I'll play that for you. There's things I want, there's things I think I want, there's things I've had, there's things I wanna have. Do I want the dreams, the ones we're forced to see? Do I want the perfect wife, where perfect ain't quite right? Shopping every day, take it back the next break. They say the more you fly, the more you risk your life. And I'm just looking, I'm not buying, I'm just looking, keeps me smiling. The house I seen, another could have been. You drenched my head and said what I said. You said that life is what you make of it, yet most of us just fake. And I'm just looking, I'm not buying, I'm just looking, keeps me smiling. I'm just looking, I'm not buying, I'm just looking, keeps me smiling.
Kelly Jones with me here at the Hay Festival. So can I ask you about the songwriting process, Kelly? I mean, and your particular way of writing?
I think 90% of the songs I've written is usually like a chord progression and a melody, and then I'll go and fill in the words later. And then sometimes a key line will come out, and then you'll go back and try to make a whole song make sense to that one line that's come from your subconscious. And then some songs you just want to get something off your chest, and you can write 9 verses, and then you put music to that. I think the first record, it kind of came very, very natural to me. I didn't really care what anybody thought about the songs. I knew they were songs that meant something to me, and I knew they were important. And then it comes to your second record, you still keep that, but then you know there's a kind of silent pressure that you have to live up to your last record. And there's a workload to maintain at the same time by touring the world, so then you have to apply discipline to your work. Actually having to do it, as well as go out with all the boys all the night and do all that and then come back and do the song. So you find all these different patterns in your life, and I think for me, if you keep the tap dripping, then you can always continue to write. A lot of writers, they stop when they go on a world tour, which could sometimes last for 15 months. And I mean, if you're a swimmer or you're a football player or you're an athlete, if you stop anything for 15 months, getting back into it, it takes you 6 months before you even start.
Absolutely.
So for me, I always just figured if I just keep doing it, it's a bit like the Walt Disney thing. You can do 1,000 shit drawings before you do a good one. And there's a million shit songs on my tape. So you just keep somehow doing it. And it's tiring sometimes, in the sense of you're just going through and you just think, the end of every album, you start writing for the new one, you think there's nothing left, it's coming out, and then bit by bit, you know, you write one, then you have a little niche, and then all of a sudden it starts again, and it's quite amazing where they come from, really.
Pick a part that's new. Just describe this process to us, specifically with that song.
Well, pick a part that's new. It was the first time I'd ever been to New York. We just played Reading Festival, and we were all going to go there for the first time together, and we stayed in Gramercy Park Hotel, and you know, coming from Camam and going to the Gramercy Park Hotel was quite a big leap for us. And it was a bit like Kojak and all that. You know, it was these phones with the push buttons on it, and you look out the windows, all the yellow cabs. It couldn't be. You know, it was that guy at the bar, like a Charles Bukowski story. It was everything that we ever thought it would be, really. So I think that was just the first impressions of New York for us, and I think musically it was influenced a bit by Smashing Pumpkins and just trying to write riffs in a different way on the guitar, and it came quite simple. So do you want me to play that?
Yeah.